We've got Nine of Cups in reverse as your central focus, crossed by Five of Swords. At the root of the situation is World. That's the completion of a cycle. Feeling set free, feeling like you've achieved the next plateau or the next level. It's passing from one portal to another. It's actually funny with the eclipse season being a portal. It's like having graduated from this course and going on, feeling set free to go to the next course. This is the last of the major arcana cards. So it's the card that starts after this one again is Fool, which is everything is possible, new beginnings, new adventures. And what's passing away is Ten of Wands in reverse, so feeling burdened by something. Our opportunity is Ace of Coins, again with that new beginning theme. I'll talk more about that in a moment. What's approaching is Eight of Wands, so communication. This is also arrows of love. It's also meaning that things are almost completed, things happening swiftly and rapidly. I really love this progression from Ten of Wands in reverse through Five of Swords to Eight of Wands. I'll talk about that when I talk about the timeline. This is you in the situation, Pisces. You're showing up as Hermit, so time for reflection and looking for the truth in a situation. I love both of these as your placements, sort of representing you in the heart of the matter here. Your environment is Queen of Swords in reverse. Your hopes and fears is Moon in reverse, and a potential outcome is Three of Wands. That's visioning. Bottom of the deck is Seven of Swords. So let's take a look and see what all of this is showing us, Pisces. The first thing that I want to look at here is your central focus. You have Nine of Cups in reverse and Five of Swords. Now, Nine of Cups usually represents wish fulfillment, happiness, feeling satisfied, feeling joyful, feeling like you've got everything that you want. It's usually depicting someone who is sitting at a banquet table with the cups of wine behind them. And cups are the emotional energy. So this means feeling like you're happy, satisfied, just it has to do with pleasure and wish fulfillment. With this in the reverse, it may mean that there is some wish that is not coming true. There is some way in which you feel dissatisfied, or there may be some fear, doubt, or resistance that you may get a certain wish, or that you may have a certain amount of pleasure or happiness. So it's, when I see cards in reverse, I usually say that this energy is there and available for you. But in the reverse position, it says there may be some fear, doubt, or resistance to letting that in. So this is very much here for you if you choose it. But it's being crossed by Five of Swords, which has to do with old conflicts, old battles. What this really usually illuminates is learning from old conflicts and old battles. We see the swords here, which represent ideas, knowledge, wisdom, belief. And I usually look at these swords and Five of Swords as insights and knowledge from the experience of having gone through some sort of conflict. The sun has set on this conflict. The battle is over. And these swords are laying out there as pieces of wisdom and insight that we can collect and gather and take with us forward. So what I'm seeing with this being the challenge card is, are you learning from past mistakes, past conflicts, past battles? Are you gathering the wisdom and insight and knowledge that is available to you? Because that may be what is causing you to not receive, if that's the case, the happiness that is here waiting for you. There may be some of you that are not experiencing this wish because you have yet to gather the wisdom and insight that is sitting out on the field waiting for you to see it and collect it. So that's what I see here. I think some of you may have fears or worries too about old conflicts, and that may be causing your doubts or fears about this wish fulfillment, about this happiness, which is very much possible. and it's definitely here for you, but you definitely need to remove any fears, doubts, or resistance about learning from the past in order to access this. There's a lot of yellow in both of these cards, which represents optimism and sunniness. And I'm seeing a lot of sun energy. It's Leo season. The sun is the luminary that governs Leo. So there's a lot of possibility for happiness, but there is some sort of conflict in terms, or challenge, I'll say, in terms of collecting wisdom and insights from the past, especially as it relates to a conflict that the sun has set on. So that's what's going on as your central focus, Pisces. At the root of this is some sort of graduation from a cycle. This is the World card, and this means being set free, feeling liberated, again, going through some sort of cycle and coming to the end of it. It usually means leveling up. It means feeling supported by the whole universe. You know, you can see this woman dancing naked, and she's just being completely herself, completely honest with who she is, and she's got the whole universe supporting her. And this is a wreath of laurels, which represents triumph and success and victory, and going from that prior situation, you know, Five of Swords potentially, through to the next thing of feeling free, feeling open, feeling like you're ready for the next chapter. What is passing away is Ten of Wands, which feels like carrying more than your due share, carrying more than your fair share. You know, carrying your own weights and responsibilities, but as well carrying others. So whenever I see this card, I always ask, what can you put down that's no longer necessary? What can you alleviate yourself from that may not be yours? And with that, in the passing away energy, I see a lightening of the load. And it's reflected here in the incoming energy, which is Eight of Wands. This is about communication. This is about things happening rapidly, receiving a piece of news that unlocks the puzzle. It's also can be the arrows of love. So there's things that are happening rapidly as you lighten your load. You know, sometimes I see this as, with this in reverse and in the passing away position, I see this as like dropping sandbags of old baggage, old karma, old stuff that you were carrying that wasn't necessarily yours to carry. And, you know, when you drop extra weight, a hot air balloon can rise very quickly. It will almost immediately when you put down what's weighing it down. And that's where I see the lightening of the load, allowing things to happen very rapidly and very quickly. And it has to do with this, you know, insights about some past conflict. That is what is blocking, or that is what's challenging your present happiness or your present potential for happiness. So I see wishes fulfilled and happiness coming to you if you can manage to drop these things that feel excessive, feel burdensome, feel heavy, and lighten it up to this blue sky of communication, resolution, things coming together. Again, arrows of love, things happening rapidly, receiving information that unlocks that last puzzle piece. So there is some things to work through here, but if you maintain a sunny and optimistic attitude towards it while you process these things and collect these aha moments, you really can unlock this happiness. And with that, you know, there's a nice progression here, not only from lightening your load to becoming happy and communicating and things happening swiftly and rapidly, but also, you know, you see all this surrounded by the blue sky. It's sort of like blue skies ahead. You go from a place of being liberated through this happiness to a new beginning. This is an invitation to a new garden, new lifestyle, new job, new relationship, new way of living. It's an open invitation for you to walk through this door and into the garden that awaits you. It's actually very similar imagery to this World card, where there's a portal, and that makes sense with the eclipses happening. So I really like that for you, Pisces. This is also because it's an ace, this is also the beginning of something that's very stable, very grounded. It's very solid. So I like that. That's your opportunity, is to receive that gift that is coming to you. But there's just a little bit to process here, potentially from the past, learning lessons from the past, gaining insights, wisdom, knowledge, experience from a past conflict. But if you can process through that, it will lighten your load, and you will have this communication ahead, things happening swiftly and rapidly. I do see that maybe a lot for you will be you reflecting on things, what's true and what's not true. This is Hermit, which has to do with truth with a capital T. He casts off all the extraneous things from the outer world and goes within. He separates himself from the rest of the world and holds up that lamp of the truth to say, okay, what is really real? Aside from all the noise and the chaos and anything else, any external stuff that is going on, what's really true? And he's really honest with himself. He gets really quiet and goes within and says, okay, now I see it. I see this. Here's the lamp of the truth. It's holding up and illuminating everything that's real. So you may be, it works with the retrograde right now, Pisces, with all these planets in retrograde motion. It actually is a really good time to go within and really get clear about what is true. I see with your card of the hopes and fears, it's the moon in reverse. There may have been some secrets that were let out, and you may have some hopes and fears about potentially more secrets coming out, or identifying what is rational versus what's irrational. Trying to identify, this is another card of illusion versus truth. So the moon has to do with what's changeable versus what's permanent. It has to do with allowing deep-seated emotions to come up for evaluation between our left brain, that's represented by the dog here, and our right brain, which is represented by the wolf. What do you know instinctually? What is it that you know on a gut level versus what can you analyze and process with your mind? The moon does not exude its own light. It's a reflection of the light of the sun. So in that way, it represents things not always being what they appear. So in your hopes and fears position, it may be that you're afraid that things may not be what they appear, or that they're not being reflected or illuminated honestly. It's very interesting with these two cards that depict the light. The light always is a representation of the truth. And so Hermit here has captured the light in his lantern, and he's holding the truth up for everyone to see, but especially for himself. And the moon is an evaluation of light that is sometimes true and sometimes false. It's changeable. It depends upon what day it is, what time of day it is, where the moon is at in its phase. So it really has to do with letting emotions come up for evaluation. What's real, what's not real, what's honest, what's dishonest, what is actual versus what's fantasy, what is illusion versus what's truth. So there's some issues regarding that, and it looks like there may be some untruths floating around in your environment. This is Queen of Swords, which is sometimes depicting of an air sign. It could be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius in your environment, but in the reverse, this is usually someone who is not speaking the truth. In the upright, Queen of Swords is very clear with the truth. She defends her boundaries. She's very clear about her speech. She's very distinct with things. She uses clear and precise language, and she's holding the sword of the truth. In the reverse, this can mean cutting people out abruptly, being sharp, being a little cutting sometimes, or it can also just mean a non-commitment to the truth, things that are being said that are not truthful. So I really see an evaluation here, Pisces, of what is true for you versus what is not, or what is changeable, what's illusion, what's fantasy, what's reality. That's really up for analysis here. And you may get some more insight on that through looking at the past and picking up these swords of insight from the past, these beliefs, ideas, wisdom, knowledge from the experience of a conflict that has set in the past. And you come out as hermit here, as the person who sets themselves away from the rest of the world and gets really quiet and finds that truth just by reflection. So really good time for that with this Mercury retrograde. It does look like there may have been some deception in your environment, and it looks like there is an end that is needing to be cut out or off, that releases you and allows you to feel free, to feel liberated, to feel like you're ready to go on to the next chapter, the next plateau, the next level, the next cycle. And that's part of what this coming in is about too. You know, Ace of Coins is this new lifestyle, new job, new relationship, new way of being. It's a gift from the universe that's coming in for you. So it also, with your potential outcome, it also enables you to see things, new possibilities, new realms. Three of Wands is about visioning what you want to create. Where do you want to go? Sometimes this card is called sending your ships out. Or I'm sorry, seeing your ships come in. So it's waiting, it's having arrived at a new place, a new perspective, a new vantage point, which is really reflecting world here. You've arrived to see something from a new perspective and a new vantage point, likely because you've seen things from the hermit's perspective. The hermit usually goes up into the mountains by himself, holds up this lamp, and sees what's below, sees sort of what's in the valley. It's sort of like having a bird's eye view of things. And this is allowing you to get creative about what you'd like to create next, what you'd like to dream next. This is the dreaming and the visionary card. So I always think when I see this card about what is it that you would like to create next? What do you dream your empire to look like? What do you want to build on this new plateau that you've arrived at? What are those ships carrying that are coming in for you? And what do you want to create? So lots of good stuff here, Pisces. I basically see that through your processing and receiving of information and knowledge and wisdom from past conflicts, you unlock a certain amount of satisfaction, of happiness, of wish fulfillment for yourself. And as you unburden yourself from things from the past, which may or may not be yours, you allow in room for communication, for things to happen swiftly and rapidly. And you're going from this sort of ending of a cycle, completing of something, feeling free, feeling liberated through this happiness to receiving something new, a new invitation, an invitation to a new garden, a new way of life, a new gift in some way or another. A new beginning is an Ace of Coins energy that's stable and solid. And through evaluating what is true, what may be misrepresented, or fantasy or illusion versus reality and what's permanent, you get to this place of envisioning what you want to create. Okay, now I'm on stable, solid ground. What do I want to create next? I really see these two as going together as well. It's like, what do you want to build with all the... So that's my reading for you, Pisces, for August. I think it's a really great month. I think it's going to be full of lots of sunny energy. I really love this Eight of Wands here. I see this happening especially for you after Mercury goes back direct in Leo. This is communication. So after the 17th, there may be a lot more communication. And with it happening in your 6th house, there could be opportunities with work, with changing things around. And it could just be a really nice renewal time for you to create something new and receive something new. There's a lot of positive energy this month. Even if things feel slow towards the beginning of the month, you're going to be letting go of some sandbags that will help take you higher and liberate you, make you feel free, and allow for some communication that maybe answers some puzzles. You know, this is usually like receiving a piece of news that makes everything click.